Hello, I've got Nick Blythe with me today from Paella Fella. Welcome to the call, Nick. Got a few questions for you about your business, your experiences. So let's get started. So interesting name, Paella Fella. I suppose that leads me into my first question. Tell us what it is that you do in your business and how long you've been doing it.
Okay, so Paella Fella, we are an event catering company providing premium quality paella and tapas to anybody that is looking to hold weddings, parties, large corporate scale events, anything from 50 to 150, 200, 300, 400 people at a time.
Wow.
So yeah, quite large scale at the premium quality end of food service, if you like.
Okay, how long have you been doing that, Nick?
The company turned 11 last year, as of the 23rd of September last year, but I've been doing paella since 1995 for family and friends. So
okay. Well, actually, first of all, congratulations for turning 11. It's a very small percentage of businesses that get to that stage, and particularly in your sector, which is obviously very competitive. So I'm imagining there must be a lot of inspiration behind what you do. So tell us the story. How did Paella Fella get started?
Well, it started by accident on a campsite, family camping holiday back in 1995, actually, where I was camping with my family. And when I say family, I'm talking about an extended family. It was mid-August. My brother came back from a holiday in Spain and asked me if I wanted my birthday present that year early. My birthday's at the end of September. And I said, yeah, I'd love to have my birthday present early. Yeah, of course. And he said, oh, unfortunately, there's a condition attached. And I said, okay, what's the condition? He said, no, you have to accept the condition before you get your present. I said, okay, I accept the condition. So he went to the back of the car, came out with these boxes. I opened them up. In was a paella pan, a gas burner, and a stand, and a recipe to cook paella. And I said, what's the condition? He said, I want you to cook paella for the family at the August bank holiday that was coming up the following week. So I said, yep, fine, do that, easy. So that's what I did. It went down a storm with the family, and then became an annual paella party, and grew from there each year. It went from sort of 10, 12 in the first year to 20 to 30 to 40. And then it became like a mini food festival over the course of the years. And that's how it pretty much got started. A year or so after my brother gave me my first pan, he was diagnosed with cancer, fought a long battle, and basically he passed away in 2003. So I decided to put myself down to run the London Marathon, and got in, ran the marathon in 2005. I know I don't look like a marathon runner, I'm not. It was painful. Ran the marathon, raised some money for cancer charities. That was great. And then afterwards, I was looking around thinking, this isn't quite enough. I haven't done enough for it. So my youngest son suggested that we use Paella as a fundraising vehicle and do it at the London to Brighton bike ride, which just takes place down the road from us here.
Yeah.
So we approached the local landlord at the pub there. He said, come along. This was in June 2005. And he basically said, come along, put on your paellas and the like, it'll complement what we do. So that's what we did. We turned up there, rocked up there on this first Sunday that we'd ever done this sort of thing before. Didn't know what we were doing at all, not properly, because it was, as soon as we could cook it, it was leaving the pan and we were having to prep it and do it all over again. So it was a bit stressful, but sufficiently rewarding to make some money, and sufficiently successful to be invited back and do it again. And that's where it started, and it just grew from there. Started doing it on a charitable basis, and then after a year or so, people said, oh, can you just do my party? Can you just do my party? My background is in IT sales. I was an IT sales executive for 28 years. And like I say, it was an accident. So it's a happy accident. It's great.
Happy accident. Fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing that. It's really interesting to hear how different companies start up, and your story is definitely unique.
Thank you.
So you were saying earlier that your market is sort of corporate events. More specifically, what would be an ideal client for you?
Well, I mean, we do a range of parties. So it's private parties, which generally are landmark birthdays, 50th, 60th, 70th, and anniversaries. We do weddings and we do corporate events. On the private side, on the consumer side, if we break the business down into consumer and to corporate, on the consumer side, our customer pretty much is someone who's 50, 60 years of age, has got a certain amount of income, that doesn't want to lift a finger. They just want everything done for them. And they just want a nice, easy end-to-end catering service where they can just relax and enjoy their time with their friends. And that's what we offer. We say, you know, you'll choose a menu. We're going to rock up on the day. We're going to set up a pop-up kitchen. We'll cook, we'll serve, we'll work our magic. Hopefully create, you know, good times for everybody, and then we're going to clear it all down and slink away off into the night and leave you, the host, to bask in the glory of being, you know, a great host, basically. So that's it. And
so finishes. You look after the whole event, essentially.
We hold, yeah, end to end. We look after the thing. And on the corporate side, it's pretty much the same sort of pitch. You know, take all the pain away from the person that's having to organize a corporate event for 150 people. So for example, you know, we've done a great deal of analysis around our menu on food allergens and things of that nature, drilling right down into it. So we can just basically say, you know, you can have a menu, you can have anything on that menu. It doesn't matter. You tell us what people's allergens they've got and we'll put it together and reflect what it is that your event's all about. So, and that can be, you know, like I say, anything. I mean, on the corporate side, the numbers are larger. Generally speaking, you're talking about 100, 150, 250, 300 people at a time. So, you know. So,
okay,
yeah.
That's interesting. So, what's your marketing look like, Nick? How do you find, you know, your customers? What strategies do you use?
Well, I started out just trying to advertise locally, and it just didn't sort of work for me. And then I realised that the world is digital, and that you need to make the most of the tools available to you, and the internet is just a glorious thing in some respects. You know, my background as an IT salesperson, I'd have to use it and make sure I got it right. And so I started with Google Ads, paid search, and built up the website and used the paid search to drive traffic to the website. In the last few years, we have began to. In the last few years, we've began to work more with engaging on organic search, which is search engine optimization. So we've done an analysis of our website, and we've gone and optimized it all the way through for SEO, and then we've got this continual process of optimizing for keywords, search terms, trophy terms, whatever it may be, and that drives quite a bit of traffic to the site all the time. And that's allowed us to scale down the paid search side to a minimum, basically. And you use paid search now almost as a way of doing some research into keyword search terms and stuff like that. So
that's really interesting. So if you had some advice to yourself when you were starting out in business, if you go back and talk to the younger version of yourself, what would you say? What would you have to say?
Crikey. Follow the money quicker. Follow the money, for sure. I mean, I had this altruistic view that I could be almost all things to all men. So we not only were doing private parties and we were doing corporate charity events, we were doing public events and so on and so forth. And public events are so risky for us because you just cannot guarantee how many people are going to turn up. It's all guesswork. And I spent quite a few years keep trying to make those work for us until, you know, the losses, you know, you realize the losses that you're making they're not loss leading into new revenue opportunities at all. So we dropped that and we've literally focused on paid events. The other thing I would say is, to anyone doing this sort of thing, you have to be pretty tenacious. I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to give up and just walk away from it all, and knowing that to do that you know, so many people have said, "Oh no, you've got such a great thing going on. You've just got to keep focused, keep knuckling down." And you do. You just have to keep digging deep and keep digging deep. It's hard. It is hard. And I think, you know, you've got to get the right people on board. And I've got a pretty good team. You know, the team here live and breathe Paella Fella, you know, almost with the same passion as me. And okay, that means it can be quite frantic sometimes, yes. But there is a drive in everybody that works here that just wants to put on a party, make it great for someone, and you know, they get a buzz from it. I mean, it's crazy, really. It's crazy. You know, you have staff coming back saying, "Crikey, I've just been to a party and all the guests are coming up and saying, 'Thank you, we've made the party,' you know, and I'm just the catering staff, you know, they're saying this is them saying it to me, and I find that, you know, I think that's something, yeah, that's a great reward. It's a great buzz.
I think that's a really important message that's come out of this conversation today, is passion, because obviously the business started with passion. Right way back at that campsite, you continued it and set it up probably as a business with passion, with your brother in mind. You've operated with passion and you deliver it with passion to your customers. So thank you for those shares, Nick. It's been really insightful. And thank you for your time as well. And we wish you all the very best for the future and for Paella Fella. We'll be watching the space to see
Please
how
do.
things develop for you.
Please do. Great stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.